object in front of the sun. Show you guys right now. Here's NASA's photo. Did some editing on it so you guys can actually see that is an object. Watch. There's an editing. See the object right there? That's a true object right there in front of the sun. This is NASA's photograph. I'm gonna show you guys mine after this one. Like I said, man, I've been following this object, whatever it is, in front of the sun, passing by the sun. This thing's starting to get a little ridiculous, a little freaking scary now. There goes my photo now. There's my photo right there. That's our sun right there. That's that's an object, same object in front of the sun. It's like another sun, but a dark sun. I call that the black sun. Huge Jupiter-sized planet of black sun by the similarities right there. Oh, sorry, I got the wrong one in there. My bad. But yeah, that's mine right there. You know, the photo that you saw right here. My bad. I got the wrong one in there. But yeah, that's it, guys. I wanted to share this with you guys. It's crazy what's happening up there in the sky.
What if I told you that ceiling fans are actually mind-wiping devices? Yeah, those ceiling fans that keep you cool in the summer are actually part of an ancient alien plot to control human memory. The blades are coated with a special nanomaterial created by extraterrestrial beings known as the Etherians, who've been on Earth for centuries. This nanomaterial releases invisible frequency waves as the fan spins, subtly interacting with your brain's hippocampus, the part responsible for memory. Every time the fan spins, it sends out micropulses that delete tiny pieces of your short-term memory. And over time, this slowly builds up. Ever walk into a room, forget why you went there, or lose track of a conversation mid-sentence? You probably blame it on stress or distraction, but it's the fan wiping out random bits of your day. The Etherian's goal is to keep humans in a constant state of mild forgetfulness, making sure we never fully remember the hidden truths of the universe or question the reality we live in.
Some conversations are too high frequency for people that's vibrating at a low frequency. I can't cast my pearls to the swine. They're gonna take them and shit all over them. You have to be careful because you can emit so much energy into others. You can pour into others so much that you forget to pour into yourself. And that's when we age. That's when we become drained. You ever had a conversation with somebody and you're like, man, it's fucking so exhausted. I'm drained.
Yeah.
But you have a conversation with somebody and then you feel refreshed after.
Replenished, yeah.
They gave you life. Other people, they just took energy. They was energy vampires. And that's why I'm here with it right now. I had to learn how to set them healthy boundaries, but I hear shit.
Majority of us, when it's time for us to leave, you're not supposed to stay. Your soul's supposed to keep going. But what they do is they have that moonlight there. This moonlight that's sitting right outside the atmosphere because it takes the soul 40 to 72 days to fully transcend the atmosphere. Once it leaves the body, your soul retains its memory. Nothing else is real, but you do take your memories with you. So you etch that witchcraft into your soul remembers it. So that's why when you're transcending the atmosphere and you see that light, it's so easy for many souls to go back into that light, having went through the soul bleaching program here on this realm, because they bleach your soul twice. When you at the moment they call death and your soul is transcending this atmosphere, they capture it with the moon's light, bring it in, and they bleach your soul of its memories. All right, once they bleach the soul of its memories, they open up portal, shoot it right back to this atmosphere. Once the soul comes back to this atmosphere, you can come back as many things. You can come back to a body, a cat, objects, like a bottle of water. You get what I'm saying? Honestly, you can, because it's just energy. You know, it's just energy.
Do you know how fucking long it takes to use one bottle of baby oil? Let alone 1,000. The nigga had 1,000 bottles of baby oil just on standby, dipping french fries in it and shit. That's all the evidence you need. Nothing good is coming from 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
You are a masculine and feminine being. Your soulmate is the other side of you. Me and Khadijah's union becomes heaven. So we can never be departed. And technically, if you know yourself, see, the only way you can find your soulmate, if you know yourself. Because you haven't gotten down to this. If you see that's such a perfect question. Most people are dealing with the surface issues of their humanity. So when they finding these hoes and bitches and arguing in the street, what they're dealing with is their human issues, not their soul. Once you start to break yourself free of the human thought, then you're dealing with the true self. And that's when I was able to find out. We used to have jokes. I was like, back in the day, you go up in my hood, I'd be fucking the shit out you. She'd be like, nigga, I wouldn't even pay no fucking attention. And the reality is, though I'm joking with her, I probably wouldn't pay no attention to her. I would thought she was fine, trying to fuck her, but not seeing her for what she's worth, because I didn't know who I was to be able to have that divine connection with her. So there probably been something about her, because she is my soulmate. Something about her that I always thought about, something, but I'm not ready for the experience.
D4K.co.
Die for knowledge.
See, they didn't teach you about sacred geometry in high school. They didn't even teach you real mathematics. Real supreme mathematics, you have the supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, and sacred geometry. This is real math that they never taught you in school. Just like metaphysics and quantum physics is real science, and you never was taught that in school. All right, but 9 represents completion. 9 is the highest number. There is no number higher than 9. All right, you know, a lot of the Greeks sat down and we taught them. We gave them the alpha beta system, so they began to write and they began to become scribes. We was never scribing shit. We don't gotta scribe shit. We know everything is in here. We didn't need no scribe. However, these Greeks, all right, who we taught the alpha beta system to, they begin to scribe and write things down so they can remember them. Writing was only created to help them remember, because they couldn't remember without it being written down and them studying. They had to study it. It's not natural to them. When it's natural, you don't have to study. We didn't have to study it. You know, we live it. We created it. All right. So you gotta understand. You know, that's how that went. And when the cosmos was erected, that's when all your universes was set up, your planets, your galaxies, your realms. That's what I mean by architects.
You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
Are you a Zionist?
Yes. Now you'll be able to make a lot out of it because people don't know what a Zionist is. Do you know what a Zionist is?
I just ask questions, I don't answer.
It's coming. You are now seeing and witnessing the end of your Holocaust. You see everything is collapsing. This is by design. This is the moment you've been waiting for, nigga. But if you sit back and think the same stupidity, the same loving hip-hop ass thoughts, the same we gotta kill a white man thoughts, you're beyond him. Take your mind off of him, because what you could see is his nature in this particular golden age will be very harmful to him. So he'll do it to himself. We don't have to do nothing. There's a war on consciousness because it's the most dangerous thing on this planet, especially now. The hope is they'll give you a Kamala Harris. You wish that she runs for president in the next, whenever it's time. They'll give you a black justice named Kenji. Hi, Kenji. How you do? Kenji eats sunflower seeds, nigga. Kenji eats pumpkin seeds, nigga. So when you hear that shit, you think something happened. And then you hear all the little Negro women commentators, we have, and we've worked so hard, and finally we are in this. You ain't did shit, monkey. You ain't did shit, monkey. But it's a psychological warfare of making you believe that you have made progress when nothing has happened. And they're in a position now to try to appease you with this illusionary forms of progress, only so you don't feel there is something else missing in you. And when you feel something else is missing, that is what leads you to spirituality. When you see things, yeah, Kenji, you see things as worthless no matter what it is. And then you start hearing this information in sporadic things and it really piques your interest. So as we call those babies, you're just being born and you're smelling this new food, this delicious energy. But then you run into some swindlers. You run into some motherfuckers who know you are a baby, who uses the techniques that have been used on them in terms of manipulation. I would say pimping 101, but it falls under that category. A pimp is nothing but a reaction to the same mind control that's been given on him to first abuse you, then keep the abuse going. So you abuse your slaves, you make them think they're nothing. By the time they're free, they're abusing each other. It was really scientific for you to beat your kids. Who the fuck beats their kids now? Who the fuck even thinks that works? It works for the parent in the moment. But the kid hasn't learned nothing. He's just beat. That's not our shit. But what needs to happen is that abuse. And then when you can't beat, we've been abusing each other for so long. The verbal and emotional abuses. My nephew is a blind fucking drunk. And my sister never once put her hand on him. But all them talks where she stands right over him. What did you do? Why did you do it? Did you feel like you did? With that look, that nigga was terrified. Looking up. All of that, whenever you looking up, it's hitting your subconscious. That's why they put billboards up high and big for them to hit your subconscious. It's bigger than you, it hits your subconscious. So when you're looking up at your mom's and she's looking down and you know better, and I'm so disappointed, and this shit makes me upset. What are you going to do now? What did that mean? Da-da-da-da. Why you think you're being more intelligent because you're not beating them, but you are beating them. This abuse is handed down. So when you walk out the door hating your mother, you're either a blind fucking fallout, piss on yourself, wake up with your stomach pumped in a hospital nephew like I have, or you turn that hate into what you call a pimp. You got to hate a woman to do that. That's why you hear later all of these stories about kicking them in the ribs, beating them, spitting on them, talking to them any kind of way, because you hate them. You hate them. And that's the legacy that they needed to leave with you, because you can't get anywhere with that mentality. You can't get anywhere. And what I see is all these niggas willing to talk this hot, I'm smart shit, but haven't dealt with self. You old abused ass niggas. Half the niggas are conscious because they were abused. That's a reality check. All Charles Manson's people were abused. And he said it. Go back and watch the statements he made when he first got arrested. They're not as cuckoo or pretend cuckoo, whichever one it is. And he's saying absolutely clearly, you're the ones who send me these kids. Where'd you get them from? From you. You made them. You sent them to me with what you did at home. Charles Manson used to say that. Why do you think the pimp has the reputation for hanging out at bus stops? Because what he's looking for is either the person, the young girl who came out here to be a star, or ran away from home because of the abuse. He systematically gives her warmth and comfort while he's talking about, well, what happened at home. And then he becomes the personification of what they're trying to please. All these beta boys are nothing but the product of their most likely abusive father, or a mother who hates the father and take it out on the son, made him a bitch. Not necessarily gay, but a bitch, easily manipulated from another man. Feminized him. In fact, that's in the Willie Lynch letter. To save your son, you wouldn't want to make him a man in that time. Because if he's a man and he gets whipped, he's going to protest and get killed, according to the mother's psyche. So they would make them betas and bitches to listen. That's also another trait from your Holocaust. And these mentalities are designed to keep you back now. It's not really, it's also designed for our domestic scenario of self-hate and black on black crime physically. But if there is in your heart a vengeance, a hate, a jungle-like mentality, a do it to them before they do it to you mentality, about the hustle mentality, a come up mentality, an economic ass kicking will show them mentality. Those things don't exist other than here. So if you have any of that, even if it's a positive aspect of trying to be rich and successful in a savage mentality, then you're in a savage reality, then you're participating in it. You are a participant in it. Your true goal is to be trying to, I don't know how, I'm just one person, but your true goal should be ultimately how to fucking break this shit down. Now, I'm not stupid. I get you need to survive here. But what you're talking, I don't really want to thrive here. I just want to make it where I'm comfortable and the human body isn't suffering. And there's something I can rely on. You understand? So I'm not stupid, and we all need that, clearly. But there's a zeal or an excitement about it. 21 laws of this and 48 ways to get this and think and grow rich. That mentality. You see if it works for you. I can't see how. I'm talking about it can physically work because people have made it physically work. But I cannot see how you can balance this out with the spiritual evolution that's truly happening if you're in that mix. You got to get into that mix with just exclaiming it. And that's the crazy part. The shit is simple. See, we've learned in public school to learn something takes a routine, takes a opening a book and studying and busting your ass, writing notes and all of that. And to learn something here, that's what it takes. But what we're trying to cultivate is something we didn't learn here. It's something we came here to enhance. But now, and each one of us in our individual pathways come back as a collective, and every experience comes into one understanding. So we're all chips off the old block. And those chips, it's time to go back to the block, nigga. Now there's a debate. Bobby Hemmett was of, we all going. When it's over, we all going back at once. He wants this whole shit to end. The other side of it is we leave in bunches. And the next bunch off of the planet to get out are the ones who are conscious, meaning your consciousness tells the story, you're done here. Your consciousness says, okay, now that you're waking up to it, that means we're finished. Because now the things that were sleeping in us are waking up because it's time to go home. but not for all of us. Some people are here just jerking the fuck off, waiting for gossip, hoping I say something they could go ooh about. And that's a reality. You're born and raised in love and hip hop. And you need to get your shit, know what I'm saying? Yeah, she does want to hug. Hey, come here. I love you. Ooh. Oh, Nick Romette, you're the greatest.
They are my witness. We're looking at souls inside the light. See them? We're like, that's not dust particles because why is it so bright? Look at them. I'm gonna zoom in again. Look, yeah, they keep, look, why are they blinking like that? Those are the deceased. See that one? Look at that, that's bright as hell. No, bro, that can't be, bro. It's shining through the light. Oh.
What do you think?
This thing. It's a giant sculpture called The Portal. It was just installed along Lakeshore Drive, welcoming visitors to the city, and it has an interesting link to the past.
Kind of a neat echo that happens when you're standing facing the inner arc and you talk to it.
It's just over 41 feet tall.
There's things I'm discovering about it even after it's up that I'm having a blast with.
12.5 tons of steel.
Which will darken up and get a nice deep brown over the next 2 to 5 years.
The portal definitely catches your eye.
I was worried at first that it might be too small because an outdoor space would just eat it up, but I think it's working.
The sculpture is part of the Muskegon City Public Art Initiative.
I had submitted a few designs and they chose this one.
The portal was designed and built entirely in Muskegon by artist Lee Brown.
Everything from fabrication to electric to earth moving to concrete to sandblasting, everything local.
This is the largest sculpture that Lee has built.
You know, it started out thinking about symbols of unity and hope. So anything from a wedding ring to rings in a tree to industrial past of Muskegon.
The site where it's built has significance. It's near where factories sat that once made piston rings for engines.
It's a nod to the history and a look towards the future.
Lee says the piece has been getting positive feedback and is overwhelmed knowing it will last for generations.
I hope it becomes an iconic spot for that people want to come visit.
Muskegon will dedicate the portal next Monday, September 9th at 4:30. Lee will be there and the public is welcome to attend. In Muskegon, Darren Bauer, Fox 17 News.
Y'all remember back in the day when we used to get in trouble in school and the teacher had us writing some shit over and over like 100 times? I do realize that was like a form of spell casting, right? I know that words carry vibration. I keep telling y'all that spelling is spells, which is why it's called that. We wrote in cursive because we were cursing ourselves. Just think about it. When did they have us writing these things over and over? When we got in trouble. Which means that more than likely whatever we were writing was associated with something negative. Think of the effects that may have had on our subconscious. So you writing out things like, I will follow the rules. I will not talk. Wondering why now as an adult you scared to speak up. It was programmed in your subconscious that if you do speak up, there's gonna be punishment. I will follow the rules is why we have so many sheep now. Just going along with everything that everybody say. Never questioning shit for yourself. But imagine if they would have had us writing things that were positive. Like, I will be a millionaire. I am filled with wisdom and knowledge. I am everything and everything is me. Just imagine. And I'm not saying it's the teacher's fault because I'm sure many of them didn't realize they were having us spellcast ourselves. We're going to turn all those negatives into a positive. Just know the same shit they had us doing back in the day as a form of punishment, we can use nowadays to manifest. Whatever it is you want to manifest, write it down repetitively. Be intentional with your words. Be intentional with your thoughts. Now that we know better, we can do better. What are some things you can think of from back in the day that they had us doing that probably wasn't so positive now that we look at it? Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
Okay, it's some real fishy going on with this. I peeped it. No hole. How they gonna bury the man? No, not just no hole, but no graves. Watch this video.
That was a long time ago.
Now take a look at this, y'all. What is the moon doing? What is the moon doing, y'all? This is at 1:23 a.m. This is what the moon is doing. Have y'all ever seen the moon do this? Look. What the hell? It's not my lens. Bro, have you ever seen the moon do this? Look, I'm turning it all angles. I'm turning it all way. But look at that, y'all. Is that the eclipse? What is going on here? It looks like a cube. It looks like a diamond. It looks like an eye. What is this, y'all? What is this? Even, what's it called? Even the lens flare looks like it, y'all. What is going on here? What? Bro. Look. Let me zoom all the way in. What? Bro, what is going on?
I just read a ChatGPT prompt that asked the artificial intelligence, if you were Satan and you wanted to stop a young woman from meeting her potential and fulfilling her life's purpose, how would you do it? This is how it answered. I will undermine her self-worth. I will plant seeds of insecurity, making her constantly question her value. She would focus on her perceived flaws and weaknesses rather than her strengths and potential. By keeping her self-esteem low, she would struggle to believe she deserves success or happiness. 2. I would create toxic relationships. I would encourage her to surround herself with negative, toxic, or manipulative people who drain her energy, discourage her from growing, whether through unhealthy friendships, romantic relationships, or even family dynamics. These people would keep her from reaching her goals. 3. I would fuel the fear of failure. I would amplify her fear of failure, making her terrified of taking risks or trying new things. She would stay in her comfort zone, avoiding all the challenges that would lead to her growth. The fear of embarrassment or rejection would keep her from pursuing her purpose. I would distract her with superficial goals. I would shift her focus away from her true calling by making her prioritize materialism, popularity, or external validation. She would chase after short-term rewards, money, status, appearance, while neglecting her inner development and long-term purpose. I would then instill a victim mentality. I would encourage her to feel like life is happening to her rather than for her. By convincing her that she's powerless in the face of her circumstances, I would keep her from taking control of her destiny. She would then blame external factors instead of seeing the power that she has within herself to change her own life. I would create constant comparisons in her mind. I would ensure that she constantly compares herself to others, feeling inferior, jealous of their achievements. Social media will become a tool for self-criticism where she believes everyone else is doing better than her. This would sap her motivation and make her feel like she's never enough. Then I will promote perfectionism. I will make her believe that anything less than perfect isn't worth doing. She will then become paralyzed by the idea that she has to be flawless in every aspect of her life, whether it's her career, relationships, or appearance, leading her to procrastination and stagnation. Then I will discourage emotional healing. I will make her avoid addressing her emotional wounds or past traumas, convincing her that healing is unnecessary or too painful. By doing that and keeping her unhealed, I would ensure that old wounds and unresolved pain continue to hold her back and sabotage her future relationships and all of her decisions. Then I'll foster burnout and overwhelm. I'll encourage her to take on too many responsibilities, causing her to spread herself too thin and eventually burn out. By overwhelming her with stress, I'll keep her from focusing on her own true purpose and making any meaningful progress in any one area. Then I'm going to normalize her settling for less. I'm going to convince her that it's easier and safer to settle for mediocrity, whether in her career, relationships, or personal growth. She'd believe that pursuing her dreams is too risky or unrealistic, so she'd settle for a life of comfort and conformity rather than pushing toward to her own potential. I would then fuel her imposter syndrome. I would always make her feel like a fraud whenever she achieves success, convincing her that she doesn't really deserve it. No matter how much progress she makes, she'll always feel like she's faking it, which would hold her back from ever fully stepping into her power. Then I'm going to block her connection to her intuition and to her faith. I'm going to weaken her connection to her own inner wisdom, intuition, or any spiritual guidance that she might rely on. By creating doubt in her own instincts or in a higher purpose, I will keep her disconnected from her inner clarity that she needs in order to make aligned decisions. Through these tactics, I'm going to aim to keep her in a cycle of self-sabotage, fear, confusion, making it incredibly difficult for her to rise to her fullest potential and fulfill her life's purpose. Does any of this sound like what's going on with you? This girl used a chat AI robot to do this. And how accurate is it how the enemy uses these tactics to sabotage our gift, our calling, and the life that God has called us to live? I decided to read this out loud because I figured a lot of women wouldn't take the time to read all of it. But please break free from the cycles.
I don't care what Wayne did. Wayne is not important to the culture of advancing us. He's important to the culture when we was at our lowest. But if we saying that, okay, what can Wayne contribute in a new high-level culture? Nothing. Kendrick, I hope he keeps doing what he's doing. I hope he continue to keep his foot on their neck. Whatever Wayne represented for myself and us at that time, we be too stuck in nostalgia, right? Trying to feel what was instead of work on something better. You know what I mean? Forget the nostalgia. Let's go to another day. Let's get to a new place. It's a different Kendrick that we getting, and what Kendrick is doing is a movement. He has a movement right now to shift the culture. Everybody should be behind that. That's it.
I have the original drawing that captures everything that I view that my mother has become.
Okay.
I have a more quality version that I adapted into a digital.
This is a demon.
That is a succubus.
And this is an angel.
Yes. To put it in visualization for everyone to articulate.
Okay.
That demon looks somewhat similar to a disheveled articulation of my mother. I had once believed that she was a good person infested by a hive of demons. In actuality, no. She had converted into a full-on demoness when she was completely filled with love and not enough discipline.
Oh, so basically spoiled.
Yes,
Okay.
spoiled. Hence the narcissism. It may not be medically stated, but it is effectively true. This is egotism in its fullest form, mostly. Articulated from one being.
Okay.
She has been stranded in an abyss that she has cast herself into for all this time. And in my digital formulation, that abyss is much more articulated. And she is floating in front of very olden teeth. The teeth of the spiritual beast Leviathan, the primordial aquatic beast God had sent down from heaven. And for those of you of the religious sects who know this, you know what that means when my mother is in front of those jaws. But for those who don't, it is long speculated that in the spiritual world, the Leviathan's maw serves as the entrance to hell itself. My mother is basically floating right in front of it, but she's not swimming away. Why? Because there is a mirror of tenebris, a fell reflection that is portraying to her her ideal world. The angel that she once was, all grown up, singing the hymns of God like she were an angel, thus keeping her trapped down there. Her vocal cords stripped away and given to an irreprobate mind. That is whom Jaguar Ride is, while the mirror is what she thinks she is, and what, at least I can articulate, is a imperfect articulation of Jacqueline Suzette Wright grown up.
You just taught me something today. So if you spoil a kid and never discipline the kid,
This is what becomes of them. Love, as beautiful as it is a very meticulous, double-edged dance. It is a rose, a beautiful flower that is protected by thorns. And too much of something can turn into a bad thing. And depending on what it is, it can either be something very light that can be cured, or an insidious, vile, serpentine poison that can corrupt a person for as long as their life allows them if no one stops them. Too much love is what turned my mother into the demoness that her persona is now.
I think you all are misunderstood because from the public's perspective, you see some black men with red fezzes under the appellation of mowers. People who are squatting in people's homes and claiming ownership of someone else's home under the indigenous, claimant of this is our soil. How does that make you feel when you see these folks under the appellation of Moor conducting themselves in this way?
Those people who say that they are Moors are telling the truth because they are Moors, but they are not Moorish Americans. They are not. Moorish Americans don't do those kind of things, and it's written in our laws. We don't take people's property. We don't beat people in the head, and we're not anti-American. We're not, against America. This is not an Afrocentric organization. And for those who try to make it that way, they will pay the price.
There are Moors across the country. We know of groups in Rhode Island and New Jersey, but neither of those groups are part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which are like the OG Moorish Americans. We came here to their headquarters to speak to the Supreme Grand Sheikh to see if he thinks these splinter groups are legit and if their practices are in line with their Moorish teachings. We've come to Sunday school to learn from the 8th generation successor of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Supreme Grand Sheikh.
I'm set if you're set.
I'm set.
Great.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
I'm in peace. I'm in peace. Practicing peace.
Indeed. Thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation. Personally, it's significant for me in terms of engaging someone of your stature and intellectual wisdom to glean from. And just for formality's sake, can you tell me your name, your title, and what it is that you do?
My name is Brother E. Braswell Beg, E for Emmanuel. I am the 8th Supreme Grand Sheikh and Chairman, descended from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's line of authority. There's going to be a 9th one after me, and a 10th one. They'll be on and on to show the continuity of our organization. This is not a snakehead organization. There's always someone fill the shoes of leadership to govern our organization throughout the world.
Supreme Grand Sheikh and Chairman. That's some kind of title.
It is.
What exactly does that mean?
It means the official head of the Moorish Science Temple of America. This office, rather, that I hold is the head, administratively speaking, of the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America that's been authorized by the great Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's an office that the Prophet Drew Ali put in place himself because he knew that he would not be in the physical body forever. And again, the continuity of the movement must go on and on and on. So he prepared that office as well as the Supreme Grand Council. It's sort of like a governing body, board of directors, to demonstrate the daily activities of our organization worldwide.
What is the Moorish Science Temple of America?
The Moorish Science Temple of America is probably all the 10 wonders of the world and more. It's a saving power, really, for our people, because we had nothing after being duped, being held in physical slavery for so many years. We lost so many vital things that make us a nation. Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm very firm on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it as the only situation that can relieve our people from the mental slavery that they have now.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly mental. Mm-hmm. It's mental now. So we believe, according to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that it was his position, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's position, to put this organization together to give us some political standing here in the United States of America, to give us some economic understanding and exaggeration in terms of putting it in place, economic power, socially. We had no sense of being social with one another, or the world, if you will, and spiritually. But before spiritually, of course, morally. We had no moral concept. We were, as Senator Henry Berry said in the book by Carter G. Woodson, he says, if we keep miseducating the Negro, we'll have him like a beast in the field. So, we were like a beast in the field. So the Moorish Science Temple of America is a salvation for our people to get back those things that we lost and we deserve. We need it just like everybody else in this world. We need all those components to be recognized by all other nations throughout the world as a viable community. Through the Moorish Science Temple of America, which is a religious corporation, we have donned the garment, if you will, of a free national person bearing his free national consciousness, free national movement. We said we'll join the pool of nationalities, but we won't join it as a mark of Negro, Black, and colored. So the Moorish Science Temple of America, put together by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, has given us the opportunity to join the pot of nationalities as Moorish Americans. And that's what the Moorish Science Club of America is set up to do, to give us back our nationality as Moorish Americans, descendant of Moroccans and born in America. You are Moor, you are Moor. But to be a Moorish American, you must join the Moorish Science Club of America, which is a religious corporation. And the members of this religious corporation are known as jural persons. We are a juristic people, which means that we're a religious government, which also means that our nationality is our religion, belonging to a religious corporation, right here in the county of Cook, in the state of Illinois.